got a nice beam on my head now thanks to Courtney. It's just so dark with her outfit.
I do what I can. It's blue.
I'm not racist towards your clothes at
Whatever,
all.
it's blue. It's not black.
Oh, that is blue.
It is.
A very dark blue. Just like my heart. Okay. Welcome, folks. I'm Jaby, Koay, joined by KRISTEN, Stephensonpino, and Courtney Wright.
Hello.
We're gonna discuss Rampage, the film, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and George the Big Monkey. This is going to be non-spoiler. Before we start, I want to do a quick shout out to Stardust and Real D3D for getting us into this screening. It's an early showing. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
that
you.
was amazing.
Yeah, really appreciate it. If you don't know anything about Stardust, it's an app you can get on your phone that allows you to record 30-second reviews for movies, TV shows, trailers. You can watch other people's reactions. It's really fun, easy to use. I highly recommend it. I like the app a lot. I talked about this on Stardust. Real D3D has improved so much, at least in my experience. I got to watch Jumanji and Ready Player One, and now this, and it's so good now.
I don't usually choose to go and see a 3D film, but I will say that seeing Rampage in the 3D setting, it enhanced the film for me. It enhanced the experience.
Yeah.
Having the ability to see these buildings come at you and to see like the large animals and creatures in 3D, it made it so much more fun.
I normally will never watch 3D films, but this one, I was actually like, well, this looks pretty good.
I recommend watching this in 3D. It's a lot of fun, and yes, Real D3D. Thank you. Okay, so let's get into this. We're gonna start off with IMDb just to give you guys some information so you're not completely lost when we talk about it. Primatologist David Okoye shares an unshakable bond with George, the extraordinarily intelligent gorilla who has been in his care since birth. But a rogue genetic experiment gone awry transforms this gentle ape into a raging monster. As these newly created monsters tear through North America, destroying everything in their path, Okoye teams with a to save the fearsome creature that was once his friend. That's a great summary of the movie.
It is George, formerly of the jungle.
I did think that was kind of interesting because there's like a jungle creature named George. First thing I want to talk about is the visual effects in this. I thought it was phenomenal. Like, that's one of the primary reasons you go to watch a movie like this, besides Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's awesome persona that he employs in every movie he's in. It looked real on screen.
Yes, a lot of times when they, enlarge certain characters with visual effects, it begins to become false and it takes me out of the movie. But this, every single detail from the facial expressions that the animals were having, things that were happening, surrounding in the surrounding area, it was fantastic. I completely agree with you. I just want to say that one thing.
What are your thoughts on visual effects?
I loved him. Normally, normally
I loved him.
I loved him.
It's like the best Academy Award speech I've ever heard.
Normally, I
Thank you.
don't like visual effects or special effects or whatever.
Yeah.
I sit there and I'm like, it's so fake.
Yeah.
It's so bad. But these ones actually I enjoyed. Like even when the buildings were like crashing. When things were like breaking and getting destroyed, I believed it and it looked real.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that.
I was thinking the same thing. There's like, yes, like buildings getting destroyed and whatnot. I'm like, wow, these.
I was impressed
I
with
can't tell if it's miniatures or just visual effects, but it just looks so photoreal. And even the creatures, like, they're not real creatures, but they have
look like it.
The texture on them and the detail on them is so just meticulously crafted. So let's talk about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I think that every time he decides to do a movie, he brings that same kind of charisma to it. And, it works really well. Like, I don't think he can do anything wrong. I haven't seen a film of his where I'm like, yeah, he shouldn't have done this movie. He's very honest with it. Unlike, there were some other actors who I'm not gonna, call out, but there were some actors in the movie I was like, you should not have been in this movie. You guys did not do a very good job.
I respect his commitment.
Yeah.
He believes every single scenario that he's in.
Exactly. Jeffrey Dean Morgan was actually good as well. I liked what he brought to it. It was a little bit on the hokey side, but I think it was just hokey enough where he was having fun with it.
Yeah, I did want him to go and get his bat, though, at some point.
I like the female.
Naomi Harris.
I thought she did a really good job at hanging in there with the rock and like holding her ground. She was very believable, I thought. I liked her.
I
liked her.
I had feelings about her. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if they were good or bad yet.
I agree with KRISTEN. Naomi Harris, I thought she was really good. I'm hit or miss with her, but I thought she was really connecting. She had a great relationship.
That's what I thought. I was actually really impressed with her face expressions and the way she held herself.
It was really truthful. Like, I believe that she was someone who was struggling with something, but now trying to do the right thing.
I want to talk about the video game and the violence. At this screening, they were playing the video game before the film. I never actually played the game. It was kind of educational for me to see what the movie was based on. It was so fascinating to me that they took this particular story to make a movie about. They actually did an interesting job with showing like the kind of destruction you see in the game. If you've played it, it's actually accurately represented in the movie. Like, you don't have animals turning into people and walking away naked. Like, that doesn't happen, but the destruction that's in the game, it's like if this was real, how would this be and how would people respond to it? I think they did a good job there.
They honored the title. It's literally a video game about animals wrecking buildings.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what happened.
The violence in the movie, if you are watching this to figure out whether or not you
yeah.
should show this to your kids, gosh, like if your kid is under the age of 14, I don't recommend showing it to them. There are some moments where I'm like, that's even violent for me. I'm a grown man. Sometimes I'm a man-child, but goddamn, like
I was shocked.
I was like right from the beginning of the movie, there was some serious violence in this movie.
I do agree that there was a lot of violence.
Yeah.
But it's built into the title. I don't know about 14. I would say like 13, maybe even 12. Listen,
I thought you were gonna be like maybe 5.
honestly, I mean,
A
kids
newborn could handle this.
You know what? A 5-year-old is golden. Not
Yeah.
kidding. The kids nowadays are playing a lot of games and seeing a lot of content on television and or YouTube that showcase a lot of violent images. This isn't anything different than any other movie that we're seeing.
But like,
I guess
sorry,
you can't really.
I feel
don't
like
advocate like violence. I don't maybe, but it is
Yeah.
because
No,
they
I get
are
where
like
you're coming
fake
from.
animals that like there's obviously no 40-foot tall.
It is
yeah,
cartoon,
it was
but-
just when I found out it was PG-13, I was a little bit shocked. I was like, wait, this is PG-13?
Yeah.
Because I know
They
a
pushed it.
few kids who do, they play those video games and everything,
Right.
but even for them, I feel like it might be much.
I felt like it was a bit much. I was like, wow, they're really pushing the PG-13
Yeah.
thing here. I don't even know, this line is so ambiguous now.
But it does, and like
yeah.
that's the thing is that when it comes to PG-13, nudity and
F-words.
the F word, those are the things that will bump your film up to
Yeah.
a rated R.
They did a whole Live Free or Die Hard F-bomb moment, if you guys have seen that, where Bruce Willis is like, yippee-ki-yay, mother, and a gunshot goes off. I was like, look, I know what the F-word is. I know I can say it in my head, but if you're gonna half say it, it's just cringy. It's like, don't half say it. Just don't half say it. Like, really, that's the part that you're worried about? That one F word? Not all the... It's a fun movie. That's the last
I
thing...
had a great time. I loved it.
That's the last thing I want to talk about is, like, you can't go into this expecting anything remotely serious. Even though Dwayne Johnson takes it serious, like, the movie itself overall is just a very... the beginning of the film is very, very serious, but the rest of it is kind of just lighthearted, even though it's crazy stuff happening. Oh, I know. I know the last thing I wanted to talk about. I have this thing I call the John McClane effect, which is John McClane is the character from Die Hard. If you guys don't know, you should all know this. One of the things that for me made Die Hard so special is that he was one of the first heroes in action films where he gets brutally messed up throughout the movie. Like at one point, he's got glass in his feet. Like, that's John McClane. That's something I'm always looking for in other films. Here, we've got two heroes, so to speak. We've got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and we've got George the Big Ape. And both of them, they take some beatings in this movie. Like,
they do.
They get destroyed. It feels so much more real and relatable because of that, and you feel so much more for these characters. For me, it's like, I strongly recommend this because of that alone. It's like, it's so refreshing to see that these main characters go through these trials, these struggles the way they do, like John McClane. In summation, it's a film that is definitely worth watching. There are things that definitely make it not a perfect movie, but I had a lot of fun with it. I thought, like, the visual effects and, like I said, the John McClane effect, those two things really make it worth it for me. And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is just, he's always fun.
Yeah.
Overall, like, I recommend it.
Yeah, I'd recommend it. I feel the
recommend
same
it.
thing.
Yeah. Thank you again to Real D3D and to Stardust for getting us into the screening. Very much appreciated. Make sure you follow these two on the social media and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out our other reactions, reviews, and short films. I'm Jaby Koay. This is
KRISTEN STEPHENSONPINO.
So Courtney, right?
Peace out. Every time you say your name, I'm just like, it's still going. It's still going.
It's a marathon.
Okay.